All right, so the role model that I have chosen and that has spoken to me is Saint Damien of Molokai. So his early life, he was born on January 3rd, 1840, and his original name was Joseph de Veuster. Now, Joseph was the youngest of seven children, and he was preparing to take over his family business, but he didn't want to because he didn't want the responsibility. So instead, he took the religious vows and followed his brother and two sisters. So some of his contributions. So his older brother was in the same religious order. Now, his brother was ordered to go to Hawaii but became very ill. So his brother Damien took his place. Now, Brother Damien was ordained 2 months after his arrival on the island of Hawaii. Now, there was a leper colony on Kalaupapa Peninsula in 1866, which is where he worked. Now, since leprosy was highly contagious, and the people thought that it was very highly contagious, the colony was quarantined off. Now, leprosy wasn't as very contagious as they thought it was. So some of his contributions continued. These lepers still needed spiritual and medical care. So Father Damien was called to serve them. And upon arriving to the colony, he found it in disarray and that they needed a leader very badly. So naturally, he took up the mantle and unified them. He unified them by asking them to build houses, schools, and churches. Now this helped their community really unify them. So some of his accomplishments. So according to Catholic.org, St. Damien was courageous, headstrong, and resilient. His toughness served to inspire others. Reportedly, he was very happy, as were the religious people at that time. His selflessness and courageousness helped inspire hundreds of thousands of people. So much so that a high school was named after him and taught students how to live life selfish each and every day. Some of his accomplishments continued. The day of his passing is actually a minor statewide holiday in Hawaii. He moved people so much that he has a feast day dedicated to him, which is May 10th, called the Feast of Saint Damien. Saint Damien, upon receiving his sainthood, is the patron saint of people suffering from leprosy as well as outcasts. So his later life, after 16 years within the colony, Father Damien succumbed to leprosy. He died on April 15th, 1889. Now, as you can see in the background, this is where he was originally buried in Molokai. He was first buried in Molokai, but then his remains were transferred to Belgium in 1936. His right hand was then returned to be reburied in his original grave at Molokai, which is what you can see in the background. He was beatified, or to be blessed or sanctified, by Pope John Paul II in Brussels, Belgium, on June 4th, 1995. His sainthood was confirmed on October 11th, 2009 by Pope Benedict XVI. Now, Saint Damien moved people so much that he even had a school named after him, a high school, and which is where I attended. So I went to Damien High School, which is located in Laverne, California, which is in Southern California. And going there for 4 years, we learned a lot about Saint Damien and his accomplishments. I really began to know him in my theology classes and my various teachers. I admire him and look up to him because of his selflessness, his community service, and his faith, which we learned about throughout my 4 years there. My time in high school really taught me to follow in his footsteps. I strive to be selfless and give back like St. Damien did. If it were not for him, many people, women, and children included, would have died scared and alone. Now, according to Encyclopedia Britannica, St. Damien had all 7 virtues. Being a religious man, he was chaste, he had temperance, he was charitable, he was diligent and patient, he was kind, and last but not least, he was very humble. Now, Damien High School instilled these in me by helping me find myself through, St. Damien's life. While I was there for 4 years, I completed various community service hours and gave back to my community, such as soup kitchens, cleaning up for the homeless, and helping such as those in my 4 years there. Now, I chose him as my role model was because I strive to be kind and humble and charitable, just like him. Every time I'm out, I see someone in need, and I try to give back because I know that's what St. Damien would do. I really admire St. Damien, and I look up to him. I have found St. Damien, his works and his deeds and his kindness, selflessness, in many people I have met and known, including my parents, my girlfriend, and my brother. That is why I chose St. Damien as my role model. Thank you.